The wannabe social media star is under fire for flying to the Caribbean country as the island braced for a devastating hurricane.
Just when you think influencers can't get worse, they make a natural disaster all about them. We're going to break this down plus so much more on today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show where I take on the craziest ideas from across social media and the internet, all from an independent political perspective. Up first, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about a big hurricane that is Hurricane Melissa, just devastating people now in Jamaica and elsewhere in the Caribbean. And of course, my heart goes out to everyone affected, especially the influencers. When you think about it, they're the real victims here, you know, even the ones that knowingly went into the path of a Category 5 hurricane. It's really them who deserve our thoughts and prayer. I think you can see where this is going. I can't even keep a straight face with it all. But first, I do want to just acknowledge how serious the situation is and encourage people, if you're able to donate to some verified relief funds. Here is some CNN reporting on the severity of this hurricane.
We begin tonight with the latest bulletin on where Hurricane Melissa is going next, even as we're just starting to find out the damage it's already done to Jamaica. It slammed into the island nation as a Category 5 storm, lingered with winds of 185 miles an hour. Now, when it hit, it was among the most powerful ever recorded. And now, some 7 hours later, with the eye moving off the country's north coast, it's hard to fully assess the situation because communications are down. One government official says the parish of St. Elizabeth in the southwest, in his words, is underwater and has sustained extensive damage. Now, in some places, people are even being warned about crocodiles, which have been displaced by flooding.
Now, guys, again, all we can do from safety here is wish people well and offer them our support. But what we can also do is laugh at the influencers who have gotten themselves involved in this situation through, you know how we say like through no fault of their own? In this case, through exclusively fault of their own, including some who knowingly chose to go to Jamaica in order to be in the path of the Category 5 hurricane and are now vlogging their experiences on TikTok for attention. It's just another day and a new low in this degenerate society. Let's take a look at this video from the New York Post summing up this development and try not to pull your hair out.
In the of the storm. Where the storm there?
Jamaica no problem, not for influencer Hannah Grubbs. The wannabe social media star is under fire for flying to the Caribbean country as the island braced for a devastating hurricane. It's expected to be the strongest storm to ever lash Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa out here messing with my vacation, Hannah whined from her hotel balcony in Negril, and TikTokers fired back. Pretty freaking tone-deaf video. People are legitimately about to die. Pretty insensitive to the locals that do not have much, have no way to evacuate, and a lot of them are probably about to lose everything. It all started with this video of Hannah and a friend strutting through the airport, fully aware of the dangerous situation ahead. When they arrived at
Yeah, like, guys, I just want to add that context. There are a couple other influencers who were in Jamaica and then couldn't leave, and I still think it's cringeworthy. They're doing like shelter tours or like come with me to see the devastation from the hurricane. Like, I think that's terrible, but it's obviously nowhere near as bad as these people who you can see in the captions of their videos. They intentionally knew a Category 5 hurricane was coming and they went there to be there for it. That's a level of stupid that surprises me. And it takes a lot to surprise me these days. It really does when it comes to the internet.
At their resort, she was handed tricolored cocktails and gloated, pretending there's not a Category 5 hurricane hitting Jamaica. Hannah apparently thought she could ride out the storm, all with a drink in hand. Not so fast. Days into the ill-advised trip, things took a scary turn. Hannah posted a weather map on her Instagram stories, saying she's now stuck on the island. And on Monday,
Bitch, what did you expect?
October 27th, she shared that she and the other hotel guests were told to hunker down in their rooms for potentially days and asked for prayers.
So definitely just asking prayers for Jamaica, for the whole island.
Sustained winds of up to 175 miles per hour had already been recorded, and a life-threatening storm surge of up to 13 feet was expected across southern Jamaica.
Okay, I'm sorry, but asking us for prayers is diabolical. Girl, I am not praying for you. Frankly, I don't care if you die. Like, I don't want anything. I want to be so clear. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I'm not wishing anything ill towards them, but I only have so much sympathy, right? I only have so many F's to give, and you're not getting any of them, right? My sympathy, my prayers go to the people on the islands and in Jamaica that are being hit by this storm, whose homes are being destroyed, whose loved ones may die. It goes out to them. It does not go out to stupid American wannabe influencers who played stupid games and may in fact win stupid prizes. I'm sorry. I'm all out of sympathy. Your sympathy card declined. You can only do so many things and then not ever have to face the consequences of those actions. So no, nobody feels bad for you. Nobody pities you. And it is actually sick to be a trauma tourist like this and intentionally exploit the most tragic parts of the human experience for what? To build your brand? To monetize? I don't even know. But whatever it is, it's demonic. I don't know. I really find this horrifying. It is a symptom of the attention economy. It's not the first time we've seen this. We've seen this with many natural disasters. We see all sorts of times creators trying to exploit the most horrific things that we have happening in the world for content. Not everything needs to be content, okay? And there's something about this incentive structure we've built on social media where they have to keep doing crazier and crazier stuff to get attention. It's what we see with Bonnie Blue. Sorry, Clarkson. It's just, I have to go after your girl here. But like how she has to keep doing more and more extreme things to get attention, to promote her OnlyFans or whatever. That's what we see with social media. And it's going to end. It already has ended with people dying. We've seen the fat positivity influencers who've died. We've seen influencers dying doing crazy stunts. Like, this is getting out of control. And thankfully, the response online seems to primarily be shaming this person, but I don't think it will work because there's no such thing as shame when attention is a currency. There's no such thing as bad publicity because everyone, me included, is now talking about this girl and now her page is growing. She's getting all these views and I don't know how we solve this, but it's really bad. I do want to show you guys a video that was funny that I found making fun of this girl and the other people she's with that are doing this. Take a look at this.
So Hannah here is an influencer who has been using a natural disaster as an opportunity to farm content.
When you talk like that, you know.
And the nigga on the, yeah, I'm good.
Unfortunately for Hannah, reality is now settling in and she's realizing that a Category 5 hurricane is not fun and games.
And this morning they came and put these X's on our glass doors so that we're supposed to head to our rooms and not come out until they knock on our doors within the next couple days.
Now on Hannah's page, she has a pinned post where she says she wants to be a Proverbs 31 woman. This is, and I quote, a woman who speaks with wisdom, opens her arms to the poor, and extends her hands to the needy. So Hannah, do you think deliberately flying into a resource-constrained island to pull a bunch of resort workers away from their families so they can babysit you is befitting of a Proverbs 31 woman?
So listen, I don't know much about the Bible, but based on his interpretation of that quote, it's not giving wisdom to me, Hannah. I just find this whole thing to be absolutely unhinged and diabolical, but sadly kind of emblematic of influencer culture and social media and the way things just keep spiraling and getting worse and worse. But what do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Hit the like button and let me know down below. As I said, remember, you can also send in your voicemails for my Voicemail Friday episodes where I react to your woke horror stories, give you advice on your personal lives, and answer the questions that you guys have for me. The link link to send that in is in the description. By the way, just filmed a Q&A asking my mom your questions about my childhood, my life, about when she found out I was gay and all of that. That'll be out, but only for members. It's going to be a members exclusive video. It'll be out this weekend, so do consider becoming a channel member on YouTube to support my content and see that Q&A. Now, guys, we're going to talk about like the worst podcaster on the planet at this point, or perhaps like the most toxic and acerbic personality. Her name is Jennifer Welch, and she started out as one of the hosts of a show called the I've Had It podcast, hosted by her and Angie, aka Pumps. And this podcast, when it started out, it wasn't very political, and I actually listened to it for a little bit, but then it got more and more like shrieking wine mom MSNBC rant, and I totally checked out. But it was funny. They like ranted about petty grievances. They have a good dynamic. And it became extraordinarily popular. They have millions of followers. It's a top-rated podcast. They've had freaking every famous guest under the sun, including Kamala Harris, I believe, and other Democratic superstars. But now Jennifer Welch has branded out and just become a political commentator. She's on MSNBC, CNN. She is just increasingly a darling of the establishment Democratic Party. But she is pushing them to become more radical and more hateful and even more divisive, not to like, embrace people, fellow citizens, reach out, dialogue, anything. She's like, no, spit on their graves and laugh at them with us. Is the direction she's demanding the Democratic Party go in. It is actually heinous stuff. Let's take a look at this clip of her that is going viral right now, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Finally, if you think the Zoran thing is happening just in New York and you think people are waking up only in New York City, you're mistaken. Look at this clip of a wine mom at the No Kings March. Play the clip.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be glad if I would die?
Maybe. Well, I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I think we need to...
So she's laughing at this clip, and it's funny because before she even commented it, I had also seen this clip and I considered covering it and just didn't get to it. But the only, whether you are left or right, whether you love Trump or hate him, the only sane takeaway from watching these elderly women spew bile at Caitlyn Bennett, who, yeah, she's crazy, but nobody should want her dead, or talk about how they're glad Charlie Kirk is dead, is to feel disgust at that. Wishing death on your fellow citizens, your fellow Americans, just because they disagreed with you politically or you thought their message was harmful. That takes hate. That takes darkness inside of you. And here, Jennifer Welch, the new star of the Democratic Party and their liberal media apparatus, thinks it's so funny and that these women are amazing and that this is the direction that Democratic politics is going in and should go in. Then y'all are sick. Jennifer, you are a hollow, hateful husk of a human being who has just lost the ability to see your fellow citizens with the nuance and complexity that they are, which is not all bad or all good on the basis of their political beliefs. And it's just terrible stuff. But she goes on to suggest that the leaders of the Democratic Party need to embrace this kind of animosity. Now, she also interweaves it with commentary on AIPAC in a slightly confusing way, but I guess I would suggest just set that aside as I show you the rest of the clip and listen to her circle back and again suggest that what we just watched in this clip is the attitude Democrats should embrace. Really sick stuff. Listen to this.
So listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with this shit or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA. Period. Stop taking AIPAC money. Go on an I'm sorry I took AIPAC money, atonement tour, if you want to stay in power. Stop missing out on these big rallies. Hakeem and Chuck should have been front and center introducing the next mayor of New York City, but no, they wouldn't show up because they're pussies. They're pussies that are beholden to the same corporations that that helped Donald Trump get elected. And this is just an embarrassment. Kudos to Bernie, to AOC, to Zoran. And that woman out in somewhere middle America saying, fuck Charlie Kirk, he was a racist, he was a piece of shit. There are so many more of us than there are of them. And these Democrats that continue to play patty cake with corporations and lobbyists, nobody wants that. Nobody wants you. We want politicians to speak freely and look at what the benefit is. Look at what is happening in New York. And you dipshits are sitting on the sidelines, running your social media like complete dorks. It's embarrassing. Get your shit together. Hakeem and Chuck, seriously get your shit together, because the Democratic Party is moving on. We are moving on.
So again, there's a lot to unpack here about this woman, but and what she says here. I think we should separate, or try to separate, the commentary about AIPAC and corporate money. You could, of course, believe Democrats should stop taking AIPAC money or corporate money. We can have a whole conversation about that. That's a separate issue here. What is sick, what is genuinely twisted, is Jennifer Welch suggesting that the Democratic Party should become more glib and callous and hateful and embrace the ideas of, which, to their credit, a lot of them, in terms of the elected officials, denounced. They said it's horrible Charlie Kirk was killed. Now, of course, a lot of the base celebrated and cheered all over the internet, but I gave them credit at the time that most elected Democrats had a dignified and civil response to that terrible attack on American democracy. Jennifer thinks they should all be like these crazy wine moms, apparently, and that we should all just hate each other. Ma'am, that way lies civil war. I can tell you right now. And I'm sorry, but the side with the wine grandmas and the non-binaries wouldn't win. Like, the Second Amendment side would probably come out ahead, but I don't want that for any of us. I don't want that for our country, that we tear ourselves apart at the seams and dehumanize the other side and have more and more political violence. But that's what Jennifer is espousing. And I have to say that, like, one crazy person just ranting into the internet, okay, sure, she's just a hateful husk of a person. And I don't know, maybe some of the silicone she's injected into every orifice of her face has, dropped into her brain, or like seeped into her nervous system and is clouding. I don't know what's going on with her, but she just looks like she's about to melt. But what concerns me more is that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of everyday liberal-leaning Americans who listen to her and agree and not along with this. And they are friends, they are teachers, they are coaches, and I'm sure most of them are good people, but they are being led astray by this person who lured them in by being really funny and witty and entertaining, and is now taking them in this hateful way where you demonize the other side and become the mirror image of everything, the worst part of Trump or far right's rhetoric, and then some, become exactly like that. And then you bring them with you to this hateful place. I think it is so sick. And I have to say, the fact that places like CNN keep bringing her on, MSNBC, all these liberal media outlets are glowingly giving this woman a platform. I mean, here is the level of political discourse she engages in. I want to play you another clip. Take a listen to this.
And the Republicans and little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson will commit any crime, suck any dick, eat any ass to make sure he delivers on everything that this dementia-ridden, kanks, skanky ass bitch wants. They will do it for him because they are morally rotten.
I'm sorry, but I'm just so unimpressed by her. She just offers nothing of substance. She doesn't know anything about politics. Her claim to fame is being like a C-list Bravo Real Housewife or something. And she just says vulgar stuff, swears a lot, and calls people names, and apparently peddles like outright fake news and misinformation with the whole Grinder Mike Johnson thing. That's a fake hoax about him. And yet again, CNN, MSNBC, left of center tastemakers all across the media and the internet are uplifting her. I just think it's horrible. And I think it's a sign of the crassness and degradation of our political discourse that people like this, I don't know, like woke wine mom Nick Fuentes, she really is the mirror image of the shock, which that's a foreshadowing. We're going to talk about him next. But she really is just the shock jock, hateful, vile, vulgar, attacking people, tearing people down, dehumanizing people. It is so destructive. And I am so demoralized by the fact that podcasters like this, I mean, honestly, her audience is probably 50 times mine. Or forget about me. It's not about me, but other people who, genuinely try to, we're not perfect. We mess up, but we try to deal in facts. We try to have rational analysis of stuff. We try not to be so hateful and vulgar and demonize everyone all the time. Yeah, but this is what rises to the top. We might be cooked if it keeps heading this way, far left and far right. We're just going to get more and more angry and more at each other's throats till we tear this nation apart. That's my fear. And something needs to change, or that is what will happen. But what do you guys think? Any big Jennifer Welch fans in the audience? Do let me know in the comments. Your disagreement and different opinions are always welcome here. Do hit the like button. Do make sure you're subscribed. Yada, yada, yada.